into this week's episode of the Goats of Wrath. This is going to be our last one of the year because Christmas happens and we all get busy. So we will take the month off to recover, which I think everyone needs after the last however many, what's felt like weeks, fighting endlessly. Last time out, you all bravely challenged Zenedis atop the north wall of the Citadel in a hopeful attempt to reclaim the sphere he had been handed by the wayfaring strangers. You were unsuccessful in that element, but you did escape with all of your lives intact and the blood of traitors on your hands. Traitors that may or may not have been willing traitors. You also finally got the opportunity to bring your recently acquired friend, but apparently deeply set into your heart's vent, back to life by creating a new human body to replace the tiefling one that had lost its head previously. His hand did explode in fire, which caused a little bit of drama, but acquiring of a blacksmith's glove certainly helped out somewhat by Faendal. You had some catch-up and a few other conversations before you were taken to the Guildmaster Chambers, where you were involved in a discussion with the surviving Guildmasters to strategize on what comes next. It was agreed that you guys would follow up a couple of leads that you had lying around that may be able to provide insight into where Zenedis was heading for his final act. And also potentially begin the coordination of an evacuation of Cirastir, where you believed he would possibly enact this ritual. In the meantime, the guild would send messages to various kingdoms and allies they have around, in the hopes to gathering a sizable force, considering the guild is so decimated, and also rebuild the citadel somewhat, such that when the refugees from Cirastir arrive, there is not a gaping hole in the wall, essentially. And at that point, you all headed off to your rooms to take a well-deserved long rest from the absolute exhaustion of the siege of the Citadel. At the top, inspirations. Rambear, for that flying eagle ambulance maneuver that led to the episode title last time. Was just really impressive. And Faendal for thinking about saving civilians in Cirastir.
And also the episode title last week.
Yes. If you do not have inspiration already, you have inspiration again. Now, you're all asleep, enjoying deep dreams. When... Nyah, your sleep is not as peaceful as you would have liked. It's racked with fractured and blending memories. You see Jasper from when you were teenagers, training with your trainer with swordcraft. You see the Temple of Matoya, where you first accepted this new life. You also see the grinning fangs of Zenedis, crimson blood, your blood, staining his lips. And pushing through the silent white noise, you pick out a voice. The threads converge. Can you roll me a Constitution saving throw, please?
Yeah.
$24.
Okay. You wake to feel kind of those marks on your neck aching, but they definitely feel like they're healing over, at least. Meanwhile, Balthazar. In a nearby room, your dreams are equally as troubling. Darkness, cold, deep darkness. From the darkness you see 5 spheres circling about a cross-legged figure. A 6th one joins from nowhere and begins to orbit the individual too. The spheres circle, continue to orbit, and then stop, seemingly locked in place. And then the figure rises. Then claws rupture through the spheres, rending space before crushing the figure in their grip as a gaping wound in reality tears open. And all you hear are the screams of silence as the world falls apart.
Fuck.
Roll me a wisdom save.
That's what I'm good at. 14.
14. There is a deep-set aching to find the one in that vision and aid them. In this moment, your choice. Is that something you wish to follow or something you wish to run from?
From my contact with the stones, I've always had that yearning to have one for myself. So I think I'd rather run from it rather than helping somebody else.
Okay. In that moment of waking, you feel your mind drawn back into the darkness, and you find a pool, a bowl of water that you have by the side of your bed, and you just begin to trace religious markings within the waters, ones that you've been known most of your life, and you try to center yourself and bring yourself back to your identity, not the identity of these spheres. Make me another wisdom save.
26.
26. And in that moment, you suddenly notice the water begin to just cascade up your arms, and it begins to snake around your body like a river flowing across your scales, and then it finds that black mark you've borne for months now, and washes it away. You can have your point of constitution back.
Yay! Okay.
And roll me a perception check.
Ooh, 7 on the perception.
Something that's been in the corner of your mind for a very long time is no longer there.
Yeah.
But you all now awaken in your rooms. Sun has long set, but it's not completely pitch black outside yet. What would you like to do?
I guess we all convene somewhere.
I still assume we sleep basically in the same room, except for in this weird instance when Nyah and Balthazar weren't in the same room.
It's never been clear whether you all share a room or have separate ones in like a central
guild.
space.
Can we imagine it like a little dormitory?
Yeah, that's
But,
what I imagine.
5 bedrooms around a main living room area. That'd be nice.
Can Thrungi and Rambear have bunk beds?
Sure.
I thought Rambear would just sleep in the 4 rooms, then a big fireplace with Rambear in front of the fireplace.
Like a bunk
Living,
bed.
A living
It'd be
skeleton.
hilarious if anyone tried to play a prank on the ghost, because then the bear rug just actually wakes up.
Who needs a rug of
No.
smothering when you've just got a bear?
Bunk bed is also really funny if Rambear gets the top one.
Rambear gets the top one, and Rambear wants to climb up it every night.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got this little dormitory. We all meet in the centre. Let's all convene.
Did they? If we were in the same rooms, was there like sleep very fretful? Will we have heard Balthazar's like mid water magic?
You
Or we
would
all
have
just really
you would
terrible
have
sleepers?
been aware of it, Rambear. Probably about it. You would have heard some kind of running water at one point.
I was gonna like sneakily sniff just to see if anybody's like wet the bed.
Roll me a perception check.
Perceiving things is my passion.
Only passively.
13. I'm not very good at it.
13. I mean, if anyone's gonna have, it's probably the old man, but you don't think so.
He's right. He's right.
So rude.
Huh.
So rude. Am I a joke to you?
Yeah.
Oh, did everyone sleep well?
As well as can be.
No?
Not at all. I had visions of Zenedis, I think, with the orbs. I'm pretty sure he's attuned himself to the sixth one, because, kind of importantly, I can't feel it anymore.
I don't feel it anymore.
Does that mean
No,
you can't tell where it is? What
I've
you're-
got no idea where he is anymore. No.
Our one
That was our
little
alarm bell.
advantage.
Yeah, our one way of telling.
Oh no.
But your
I know
scales
where he
do look
last
brighter today.
I washed.
No, I mean you're carrying yourself in a different way. You look lighter somehow.
Mhm.
It looked like you slept well, even if it wasn't. Even if you didn't.
It felt like shit. But I guess I do feel better now. Or
Like a weight lifted.
rested. I think it's just the weight of the siege. I think we're just, now that we're done.
Man, what a siege! It's gotta be my top like. It's
Of
top
the-
2 sieges.
Of the two that we've done. Yeah.
It's definitely in there. Could have done without Nyah dying, and it would have been really cool if you'd slapped Zenedis. But that's still time.
It was my goal, Rambear. Trust me.
I guess we should decide what we're doing now. A lot to do and very little time.
Yes. Did you?
I don't think we have much time at all.
We'll just have to trust our instincts. We think that he's going to the Druids to Surstea. We should go warn them.
Yeah.
Evacuate the place at the very least.
No, evacuation in the middle of the night's not going to go well, I don't think. Can wait for daylight for that. It would be nice to go down to Bearfolk to stock up on last minute supplies. We've got like potions and all that. I think we want to be prepared as possible for what's to come.
Anyone gonna be selling stuff at this hour?
Yeah, again, wait till they rise, isn't it? Night time. Well, oh, I didn't tell you guys. Or did I? Was it seen at the end of the lesson? At the end of the
You
session?
didn't tell us.
You didn't tell
I
us.
got, oh no, I got a sending. Yeah. Just before bed last night. I actually got a message from insert butler name here. Oh no, it was Isolde.
No.
It was Isolde. Which, good thing I remember her name. From Isolde. Isolde,
The Lady of Rambear?
the Lady of Vanity, Isolde Constantine. She sent me a message, sent via sending, that she wants. Well, she sent me. But I'm going to extend the invitation to you guys as well. to visit that Lord Constantine has words to speak with us.
Well, it could be regarding Zenedis.
I would assume it would be. Don't think it'll be a casual call.
Well, if there's any chance we can get him on side, it's worth going.
Zenedis is full of horrible things, like maggots.
The guild master has offered us a teleportation, so we could teleport straight to the mansion, castle.
Teleport there. How are we getting
And then
back?
we could teleport back. I can
I guess-
teleport. Rambear can transport through plants.
Okay, let's.
Do you want to do that straight away?
If
That can be done at night, during the night.
if I can give me like an hour, I before we leave,
Mm.
just in case we can't come back to the guild. I want to try and remove my brother's curse.
Oh, of course, your brother.
Lay him to rest.
Shall we do that now then?
Okay.
You want us to come with, or are you going to do it alone?
I think it's something I have to do alone, but it will be nice to have you waiting for me afterwards.
We'll wait for you. We'll wait for you in the main hall. Can you remove it yourself?
I think so. Overnight I thought about what Balthazar told me about a spell to remove a curse, and I think I've got one. I think I've come up with something that will work.
Okay. Do that.
In the meantime, you can arrange for the transportation.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Sounds good.
Okay. Nyah, you head down to the jail cell that Jasper is in, and he's still there. He is sat down cross-legged on the floor, staring at the door. As you arrive, he stands up to lock eyes with you.
Jasper? I'm going to try something that might make you go away, but it's better than you being like this. Okay?
You can try. Just know I will have my vengeance eventually.
I hope you do one day. You deserve it. If I could go back and change things, I would. But I can't change what has happened. Only what I do from now on.
Your guilt means nothing.
Just. And I know you do too. At least you did. I'm sorry.
He walks up to the door, and you are basically face to face between the jail cells. I only care for you to join me in this pain.
One day. Just not yet. And before he says anything else, I'm going to extend a hand towards him and cast Remove Curse, hoping that it works.
Okay. I need you to roll me a charisma check.
Charisma check. Okay. Just a straight charisma.
Mm-hmm.
6.
What does your magic look like as you reach forth?
Like a small glow of gold with silver spiderwebs over it that gradually tries to grow bigger and bigger, extending towards him.
As this golden light passes out of your palm, a black aura of clinging shadow rises to meet it out of Jasper's form, and you see flickers of pain pass across Jasper's face, but he grins through it. And then the black aura pulses and your golden light dies in your hands. And you hear two voices, a male and a female voice, laughing in the back of your head.
Sakael, what's happened?
I don't think it worked. Whatever it is stronger than a rudimentary version of the spell. You could perhaps try again, or ask for aid.
I heard two voices in my head. Could that be the people who did this to Jasper, brought him back?
Possible.
I'll try again. If anything, I might get more about them. I'm gonna see if I can actually cast it again. Because it's in... Yeah, I can cast it again.
What level are you casting it at?
3rd level.
Okay. You reach forward with the golden light again, and this time Jasper grabs your wrist as you reach through, and a grin passes across his face as he smiles. How long are you going to try this before you just give up? Roll me a charisma check.
14.
14. The light rises to meet the shadow. You know a little more what you're expecting this time. And it fights, and it fights, as the golden light attempts to burn away. You suddenly feel a presence join you. And the webbing that's coiled up in your golden light reaches around Jasper's wrist that's holding you. And you see the golden light thread through the webs and begin to burn through. And you see golden light travelling up long, dead, blackened veins as the tendrils get pulled, as these shadowy tendrils get pulled off the flesh, like a secondary shadow is reached and pulled from Jasper's form. There's a blink, and then you see a moment of clarity in Jasper's eyes. Nyah?
Jasper?
You're... What happened?
Is it really you?
I remember a temple I found you in. And then pain?
Nyah starts crying, and tries to reach out to him through the bars, as if like to try and hug him. And goes, "It was me, Jasper. I'm so sorry. I didn't think I had a choice. I got told that it was inevitable and that it had to be by my hand. I'm so sorry. I never should have left. You were right."
I just want to know you're safe.
I'd be safer with you here. I'm so sorry.
I won't leave you this time.
Stay?
And he goes limp in your arms.
Nyah just falls to the floor and starts crying.
A few minutes later, someone else from leftover comes and finds you, and silently unlock the cell. You can see clearly that whatever curse was laid upon him has gone. And the warm pallor that was more natural to his skin is somewhat returned, but he is definitely not alive. He's in the arms of the gods now. You hear Sakael say, I think he's watching.
You never should have had to die in the first place.
Sakael goes quiet.
Did you see that there was someone in there that unlocked the...
Yeah, just one of the other members of the guild kind of saw that you were down there and kind of graciously opened it for you.
I'll go up to them and say, if I do not return to the guild, make sure this body is sent to its family.
Where would that be, do you know?
I'll write down a note with all the necessary details, but please ensure that it is kept safe until then. And if I do not return within the week, send him home with this, and I'll take out my Wayfinder sword and hand it to him to place with the body.
Find his way home.
I understand.
Thank you. I'll leave and go find the goats.
Meanwhile, what have the rest of you been doing?
Going to find the guildmaster offering us teleportation. The small one, innit?
Small gnome.
Also collecting my shield from outside.
Yes. Yeah. We can assume that would have happened. That's fine.
Yeah.
You find him, but when you find him, the guild masters haven't slept. They've been essentially organising things pretty non-stop since they got back. He seems initially busy, but upon seeing you all approach, he's aware that what he promised. He finishes up with his business. Yeah. You look like you're ready to head off then.
Almost. Just waiting for the last member of our party. She should be arriving soon.
May I ask where you're heading?
The mansion of Lord Constantine von Reyes. Von Reyes? Yeah, no, yeah.
One racer.
Von Reyes. In Vandis.
Are you sure?
Yeah, nope. It's just a house visit. It's a house call. You know, meeting of friends.
We're friends with the butler.
Yeah. Emilio. I remembered it there. It just triggered.
Not entirely sure I believe you, but who am I to complain if you're chasing
I
threats?
have this because I know that you will need something from there to help us teleport. I do have this bottle of wine given to me by Lord von Reyes.
Kind of takes it, looks at the label.
Wouldn't give a gift to an enemy now, would he?
When Videla said you're a weird bunch, you didn't quite explain to the extent that you are.
I'm not weird, I'm just old.
Very rarely a difference. This will certainly help, because I can't say I've ever been. So it would have been a little bit of a tricky teleport.
Will I get to keep that?
Yes, I'll send it with you. That should be fine.
Okay, good.
Eventually, like, you wait around a bit, during which he deals with some other people. Nyah eventually joins you. Balthazar. Nyah, are you attempting to look presentable, essentially? Or
Or just
more like a raw nerve?
I'm just being honest because I've gotten to a stage where I trust them enough.
Fair
give a shit.
Yeah, all of you can tell that she's a little fragile at the minute.
Still got half a bottle of another wine. Oh, God. Sorry, my apologies. I've still got half a bottle of another wine, so I'll offer her the other bottle. Some wine.
I'll take a small gulp, give it back, because I don't want to be drunk on the last day of the world.
Rambear is gonna wordlessly summon the fluffiest stoat that's gonna just wrap itself around her neck.
Oh. I'll give Rambear a small smile.
And I think we'll update her on what we're doing.
So, Artgate, then. This should, if all goes to plan, get you into the vineyard, if nowhere else. Are you ready? Yeah, with that. I mean, if you want to roll a D100, Chris, you can. It doesn't matter.
No, it's got the item, doesn't it? So
It does indeed.
I know how teleport works.
Yeah, works perfectly fine. Yeah, okay. He wisps his arms around, and in a swirl of kind of purple smoke and silvery embers. You are, and you find yourselves standing in a dark, slightly overgrown hillside. You realise very quickly, pretty much all of you, Nyah a little less, but to be fair, she's also distracted, that you are currently behind Castle Ebonwood, away from the front door.
Nope, wrong side. Must be to do with the wine. Now we move around to the front, go to the door, knock, see if Emilio's in.
How far away are we?
I mean, the Castle Ebonwood is clearly visible.
That
That
Like,
doesn't answer.
more than 20 steps? Can we touch the wall?
No, a few more than 20 steps from the castle.
More than a mile?
Less than a mile. You're a couple of 100 feet from it.
the street.
How many maggots can there be in 100 feet?
Is there anything between us and it?
Roll a perception check.
It's like there's a billion traps, there's a bunch of shadows, and a bunch of enemies.
Roll
Oh my
initiative.
god. 14.
14. You look around, as I say, it's a little overgrown. It's like,
3.
you know, every manor house in a period piece English drama that's got like these large gardens out the back.
Mm-hmm.
You're essentially standing in those, but it's a little overgrown. The hedges have kind of tamed out. The grass is kind of shin height, and not that green. There's a old fountain that's got water in it, but it hasn't activated as a fountain in a very long time.
Very stagnant.
Yeah.
Lots of flies. Alright. This is not pleasant. Shall we move towards the house and warm?
Please.
Yeah, that pervasive cold that seemed to be everywhere in Vandus, just dampness through to your bones is still there.
Ugh. Gross.
I'd forgotten how much I hated this place.
Not pleasant. Come, this is a way forward. I'll push my staff out in front of me to walk the grass out of the way.
You head around the sides of the tower, and at this the castle, manor house called castle, and you realise just how many gargoyles this place has on it. Previously, you'd very much beelined to the front door, but every corner and every couple of dozen feet, there's another gargoyle on the edge of the rooftops at varying heights, just leering down at you in...
Do they do that weird thing where it's like they always look like they're watching you from every angle? Yeah.
If you could bring them all to life, you'd have an army.
I probably can.
Rambear. And Faendal.
No. Okay.
Roll Constitution saves.
No.
You both hear the sound of heavy leathery wings on the air.
No.
No, we don't.
And you look out across towards the city proper. You remember that Castle Ebonwood sits atop a rocky thing, and you can see a large shape just coasting around the city.
It's that dragon from before. I remember that big bat, whatever it was. We never really saw what it was, but it caused a lot of issue, didn't it?
Oh, we kept
We
hiding.
hid from it. We
hid
ran.
from it. Yeah.
Once again, how many meters are we from the door?
You're coming up to it at this point. You still maybe about, as you're walking around, maybe 50, 60 feet from the door.
50, 60 feet.
Just calm.
That's gonna cast pass without trace.
Okay.
Okay.
We are guests here.
Would you
so-
like to roll a stealth check? Okay. Any of you who are acting stealthy within this, please roll a stealth check. Otherwise, you are fine.
You don't have a choice. We're stealthing it.
Alright, Rambear has stopped us and gone, we're stealthing it to the front door. So,
Oh, that's right. I have to do it twice.
doesn't fine. But I put into it.
25.
You add 10, remember, from Pass Without Trace.
Oh,
And
you
Nyah, you're
I see
technically
you,
at
Balthazar.
disadvantage because you are in plate.
I see you. Like, hi, it's a dragon. I'm a dragon.
Yeah.
I didn't roll in that one. That's fine.
Hey. No, that's horrible.
Interesting.
You knew got a 30%.
As you're walking along, Rambear covers you in silent shadow. His back creature, or that you assume is a back creature, disappears behind the cliff. Continue walking towards the door. It flies straight up from the cliff edge before banking and turning away back into the city. You see it head towards the large temple that's at the centre of the city that you never explored. That's kind of
And we never will, Gethin.
caved in top. It's got like a clock tower centre. It's like a domed roof and then a spire kind of in the centre that's been slightly broken in.
We would love to explore it. We will never do it. We are guests here. Let us go see my good friend Constantine.
Our good friend Emilio.
And you get to the front door, which is exactly as you remember it. The statues either side of heavily weathered stone, same as they always have been, and the large brass knocker at the centre of the heavy door.
Should I? Do you wanna? You?
I'll just knock.
You knock. Okay.
Tum, tum, tum. Brief second. The door opens inward and briefly bathes you in a small amount of candlelight from inside. You can see the hallway containing various glass cabinets containing a suit of armour here and there, some paintings on the walls. And heading towards the doorway, slightly down the other end of the corridor, the slightly hunched over, nearing on elderly looking man approaching forth in his slightly yellowed shirt and butler outfit. Roll a perception check.
18. Rambear is glued onto his wrist.
18. His butler outfit is pretty well fitting, and the collars do come, the cuffs, sorry, do come to the where they should, kind of up to the end of the wrist. You think you catch a little bit of something underneath it. There's just a slight raising of the cuff on the right hand side.
Emilio. May we enter?
Indeed. I'm sorry I wasn't at the door to welcome you.
No, not true.
Welcome again to Castle Ebonwood. The Lord is waiting for you in the gallery.
I'm glad. I'm glad that we were invited.
He begins to turn to kind of show you down towards further into the house. leading through this entrance corridor, you eventually come to a grand foyer kind of thing with a very large staircase that seems to wind up into the main portion of the house. Can Faendal and Balthazar roll me perception checks, please?
D&D Beyond doesn't like me tonight. That was a 7.
Me neither. 14.
14. Doesn't seem to be much going on. This place is not kept in perfect condition. Here and there you see like the odd kind of bit of damage to the wallpaper. That's about it.
We've missed something there.
The gallery, and he points you down left as you would have entered. You remember right was the dining hall from where you entered.
Did we walk past the weird staircase down to where the sphere used to be?
Where the what used to be, sorry?
It used to have a sphere or something. I don't know. There's a basement. There was a creepy staircase down
There
to it.
was a creepy staircase down. The gallery is before that,
Okay.
but it is on that same corridor.
I know it's around that same area, so.
Emilio doesn't intend to follow. He kind of just points you in the direction of the gallery.
I'll enter.
Do all of you?
Yeah.
Let's all crowd in.
You enter into the gallery, a place you had previously entered in. I think a couple of you snuck in. Faendal, I think, snuck in, didn't you?
Yeah, surreptitiously.
Yeah.
Well, I walk in going, oh, this is a beautiful room. Oh my god, why didn't we see this before?
In there, as you're doing that, you see Lord Constantine. His long, glossy black hair still kind of swept back, resting just below the collar of his tailored kind of suit. Jacket kind of trimmed in crimson. Again, he's wearing very similar to what you saw him wearing last time. There is a goblet in one hand, kind of gold filigree in a glass chalice portion, containing a deep red liquid. And also in the centre of the room you see a small table, dark wood, with 5 matching goblets, all containing their own portion of drink. You see him staring at Faendal in particular. A painting that, when you came in here previously, was covered. And the rest of you see it to be a family portrait. 3 individuals. One that looks just like Constantine, another that looks just like Isolde, and a third that looks like Zenedis, but not pallid, not fanged, almost human. Welcome. Your letter was quite insistent. He takes a sip from his goblet. Rambear and Faendal, you notice a very faint splatter of blood on the top of the white collar. Please, have a drink.
Thank you. I'll pick up one of the goblets.
I will do the same. With a gentle nod. Is this the same as the bottle you gifted me?
Similar, different vintage.
Rambear's not touching it.
Honestly, I'm a bit suspicious, but I feel like I've picked it up now. It's very rude if I don't.
Thrungi takes it and downs it in one.
It is
Favorite.
distinctly red wine. It's thick compared to most wine that you've had. Not like a syrup, but there's definitely a heft to it. It's more viscous than you would expect wine to be. And there is a tang of copper that you're more used to having sprayed in your mouth when you cut someone in twain.
I'll take a gentle.
Thrungi just grins with like red slicked teeth.
Rambear will pass the goblet meant for them to Thrungi again.
I'll take a very small, polite sip.
Oh, big gulp. I think I tried it last time and I quite enjoyed it.
I mean, it's good quality. It's just
Strange.
you don't expect to taste copper when drinking wine.
What do you wish to talk with us about, Lord Von Racer?
He stops looking at the portrait and turns to address you, Faendal. I think more pressing is you wish to contact me about my former son. What has the misguided waste of an heir been up to?
I'll take a gentle sip to hide my ooh, God.
While you do that, Thrungi just bluntly says, "Oh, just the destruction of the known world, gods, everything."
What my friend is trying to say is that Zenedis has gone ahead further with his plans, has attacked the guild and devastated it quite heavily, and gotten the last of the spheres, the entropic spheres. We're at a bit of a dire strait.
So, you mean to tell me that the reason you originally trespassed here as a route to stop this was pointless?
Not entirely. Not entirely. No, not. Partially, but not entirely.
Tell
We
me,
did
what
do-
do you know of him?
Of him, not enough.
There's nothing quite like a mother's love for a child, even an unborn one. If it had been up to me, he would not have survived, but my beloved convinced me otherwise. It was clear his birth upon this mortal world was cursed from the very start. But who am I to deny love?
In what way?
I can't say no to my beloved. Isolde wished for him to be born regardless of the fact that his presence was killing her.
He leave Bandis? When did his plans for the entropic spheres begin?
I do not know exactly, but he always had a interest in that sphere that was oh so useful.
What do you mean killing her? Isolde seemed well when we were last here. Where is Isolde?
She is tidying the manor.
How can his birth have been killing her? She was well.
When Isolde was carrying Zenedis, that is when a tragic malaise fell upon her. And what doctors would see her warned that if she were to carry him through, it might kill her in the process. And it would have, if I had not welcomed her to this state.
So you turned her.
Balthazar, you notice him briefly, kind of a glance linger on Nyah.
I noticed that Zenedis was not always in the same state that you and Isolde are.
No, he was true born human, as it were. Perhaps more proof that his existence was wrong. But in the end, once he grew to adulthood, once again, I was convinced to allow him to live. And so the gift was granted unto him. I hoped to make him a worthwhile heir. He had some merit at the time, but you do not live as long as I have without making a few errors in judgment.
How old is Zenedis?
After a while, you stop keeping track of paltry things as calendar years.
Yep, I feel you, mate. Mad respect. Old man club. We're dancing around the question here, I feel. We need help with Zenedis. He's outplayed us at every move. He's got all 6 spheres now. We know some of what he might do next and how we might be able to stop him, but
So
we
you
came for support.
So you come here seeking knowledge on the spheres, on him, or a way to defeat him?
A way to defeat him. You want your son stopped as much as we do.
He places his goblet down. The actions of a mistake are not on the forefront of my mind. My only interest is the return of artifacts stolen from me. You wish to know a weakness in him? Well, know that his will was the reason that he even fell in the first place. Accepting gifts from whispers in the dark instead of taking things by his own hand. The man is pathetic.
He might be pathetic, but he's a threat to everyone, to all
If
life
you-
on this continent. Not just in my home county. Region?
He's in Berkshire.
Berkshire.
Woodland.
Not just to my land, but to everywhere. You're not immune to this destruction that he wields. Abaddon will not discriminate when it comes to your lands.
I've witnessed
This is
my
not-
fair share of world-ending apocalypses. And each
Good for
one
you.
is
Help
prevented
us.
by a group of heroes, and the world will continue to turn. The only difference this time is I have prior knowledge on the ones foolish enough to try.
You gave him immortality, basically. You gave him the time to do what he's done.
I gave him nothing.
You just told us you gave him something. I think you should be doing this for more than just an artifact. I think you should be helping for other reasons. They can still be selfish, but there's a lot at stake.
With all due respect, but your son has stolen a sphere from you and is using it for plans that you do not approve of. It reflects quite poorly on the power of Bandis and its lord that you let this run unchecked. We're asking merely for support and guidance on how to defeat him. It's the least you can do. It is your responsibility as a father.
I am no longer a father. Rambear, roll persuasion with advantage.
Nyah's fed up now. Nyah's done. Nyah's like, I'm calling you out. No.
Standing.
Look, my brother died, I don't give a shit. Again.
2 15s.
Total.
Yeah.
2 14s.
+1.
I know, but still, 2 14s on the die.
Hey, you know it's above average.
You come here requesting aid, benevolence, tools, and yet spend much of the time throwing insults at someone who has only shown you mercy.
Is it an insult to speak boldly? It is, forgive me for saying, but a show of respect. I would only talk in riddles and politeness to those that I think beneath me. You're above such plays and games. And frankly, we don't have the time. Please don't kill me.
We're in a long rest, right? We're fine. Like if a
We can
combat.
take him. I'm pretty sure we can take him.
Yeah. What's the challenge rating on a vampire lord again?
No, but I'm like, I'm not trying to start shit. Like, I'm like, no, yeah.
Faendal is like getting. Faendal thought, is Balthazar drinking his wine?
Like
Slowly.
emphasis on that.
Okay,
Like,
no,
I'm-
I mean,
this
Faendal's
is
getting his own bottle of wine out.
for
Like,
respect, you know? Like I'm being bold because I respect you.
I was going to say,
Um,
roll me an intimidation check. This isn't an intimidation to start combat. You are just trying to exert a force of will of meet me on this level kind of thing, which I feel is more
Can she get
intimidation.
advantage? Because she's like.
No.
No, because no, let me finish. Because she's fresh off of like she's still mourning. She's probably very intense at this moment with like bloodshot eyes and like shit all over her lashes.
Spider eyes. To be fair, she's got a new appearance from what she was last time she was here.
That's true. He didn't even comment. Not an Emilio. What the fuck?
rude. How rude of them. 14.
A 14.
Damn, these 14s.
I respect your brashness. You come to ask a favour of intimate knowledge that I am familiar with. I can offer you items that others felt were useful in the slaying of vampire kind that I have yet to dispose of fully, if you would find it useful.
Yeah.
That would be greatly appreciated.
Once we have concluded our conversation here, you may head to the head to the throne room. The objects will be waiting for you there. Now, is there anything else you would ask of me?
Wanted your artifact returned. Does that mean that you would prefer your spear came back to Vandis?
I still have use of it, and the whisperings of whatever lays beyond it were pitiful mewlings as far as I was concerned. If you are worried about someone else having this power, I've held it for longer than all of you have lived and didn't attempt to end the world. In fact, I quite like this world and would greatly enjoy your success should it happen. I won't mourn it if it doesn't.
Should that not be possible? Should it turn out the spears are not able to be returned? Would that be an issue?
Well, I would be disappointed in you. After you achieved such merit-worthy accomplishments in Hopewood, I would expect more. But I can't control everything. I will find other ways.
If we are able to retrieve the spears intact, I give my word that I will interfere in your behalf so that the spear returns to you. You are, after all, aiding us in this. That in itself is proof enough that you are a worthy holder of the spear.
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
25.
There we go.
His gaze locks with you, Nyah, and you feel an indomitable will behind those eyes that should he wish would be irrepressible. You feel your heartbeat beating in your ears as you are locking eyes with. Your animal brain is terrified. You are staring down the definition of an alpha predator. And there is an ache in your neck as you notice the fangs just slightly extend beyond the top lip. Coming from one such as yourself, that is a resolute promise. I hope when this is all over, we remain helpful allies. How familiar are you with vampirism as a curse? All of you.
Not intimately.
I can't say that I know much.
It
Don't
makes
keep
your hair
getting-
really luscious.
Thank you. It's the first compliment any of you have offered me since you arrived this evening.
But no, I've complimented the house and stuff, and there's a beautiful gallery and stuff like that. I said
Sages and hunters throughout history have postulated on the varying weaknesses of those afflicted with the curse. Some are written down as scripture and consistence. But not everyone has the same weaknesses. It depends on the origin of their curse. One particular kind is that of a curse applied to mortals. Not on the brink of death, but as a gift in the prime of their life. He looks at Nyah for a second. The faintest of seconds. But Balthazar and Rambear would pick it up. Such individuals may be prone to a weakness of their mortal blood. Reminded of their existence on this plane before the gift of immortality. If you can guarantee me the return of that one sphere, the other 5 are yours to do with as you wish, and to ensure that whatever is left of the guild, or whatever replaces it in the aftermath, stays out of my affairs unless I reach out to you for a favour. I will provide you with an element of his.
Is it technically deception to agree, but not really know what we're going to have to do with spheres, so it's not really a promise we can make?
Is it deception to agree but be like, yeah, but what?
What
Yeah,
happens,
but like,
happens.
of course, sure, we'll do that. Like,
Sure.
It would not be deception at that point. You are fundamentally agreeing, if I understand you correctly, you're fundamentally agreeing that if the sphere is there, you would hand it over. I
Yeah.
wouldn't classify that as deception.
But also, if there's a chance that this could happen again if we don't destroy the sphere, that's also not happening. I don't know if we've agreed on that. That's Rambear's stand. Yeah.
I think we agree to it on the terms of whatever we know now.
Okay. Yeah, why not?
Which sphere did he have in originally?
Darkness.
Darkness one, yeah?
He was complaining about having to create his own darkness and madness.
Look, respect.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't want to wear sunscreen. Like, it's a valid request.
Pretty fancy is umbrella. I think we
Well.
agree. If possible, if it's possible, we'll return the sphere. I don't think he likes that. I don't think he likes that if possible.
I think should we successfully retrieve the sphere, it shall be yours.
Be careful what you promise and fail to deliver up. I am someone you would rather keep on your side.
I have no doubt about that.
I believe our business here is done, unless you have anything else you would ask of me.
You have been most gracious with allowing this visit.
Do you intend to stay?
Oh god, no. Sorry. No, thank you for your hospitality. We're okay.
Rambear, calm with the language, like, gently, yeah.
No, thank you.
Too quick.
Very well. The items will be left for you in the throne room.
Is Zenedis? Not Zenedis.
He snaps his fingers as the curtains are pulled back across the family portrait and begins to walk out of the room.
Rambear's going to very quickly run after him, trot after him, and say, hey, if we are successful and we deliver your sphere, would it be possible for Amelia to have like a couple of weeks of holiday? Some paid leave. It looks like he could do with some sun.
Roll a persuasion check. At disadvantage.
Wait a second, do I use my inspiration to get Emilio his holiday?
Another level 17 one.
Ooh, sorry, Emilio, that's a nat one.
There is.
Disadvantage.
Why would you give me the disadvantage? That's so mean.
That's so rude. You rolled so well as well.
I will consider it. And he
Emilio.
strides out of the room.
Emilio's getting punished for that. Well done, Rambear.
No! He's such a good butler. He's the world's best butler.
I don't know. He was late to the door.
Can't even do his one job.
We put him through so much last time we were here.
Now we head. Shall we see Emilio? Shall we get Emilio to guide us to the throne room?
He's probably in there, right?
Was it me or was he like being extra intense? He's always been intense though.
We were talking about his son, and you were a bit aggressive.
Me and Faendal. I was being direct. We didn't get to see the lady as well. That's a shame.
And she's the one who messaged me.
Very pretty.
She'd have got compliments.
Yes.
When Lord Constantine was looking at Nyah, was there any sort of grandfatherly love in his eyes?
Roll me an insight check.
Or you've been bitten by the person he bit?
11.
11.
Maybe he wanted as a mistress.
It definitely wasn't that.
Um,
I'll
Seemed
look
like a
back.
knowing glance, though.
Yeah, Balthazar, you with your kind of passive insight on that. It was one of intrigue, and yeah, it was intrigue and thought. Like he'd noticed something about Nyah that he found amusing or might have consequences.
I mean, she does have spider eyes.
Are the bite marks visible above her armor?
As far as I know, I don't believe she has a high collar.
I don't think I do.
But you do have
She
long
was
hair.
bitten while wearing the armor, so they must be visible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Shall we go get Emilio? Emilio.
You hear a bit of shuffling coming around the corner. Hello?
Would you?
Do you need more wine?
Yes, but that's besides the point.
Oh, okay.
May we be taken to the throne room?
He began to start turning away to get wine.
No, Emilia. No, sorry,
Ah.
Emilia. May we be taken to the throne room?
Of course. Follow me. He kind of shuffles off down the hallway. Rambear, with you kind of being a little on edge during this whole thing, kind of heads possibly a bit more on a swivel, looking for maybe maggots and stuff. You notice that there is kind of mud in the carpet. As you walk past the large central banister, you notice that its wood is stained with a little bit of red here and there.
Red.
Yeah.
Like, red.
No, red.
I heard bread as well.
I was like, wow. Red?
Crimson.
Got an army of ducks.
Oh, vampire.
Very muddy ducks.
You see a few slashes in the wallpaper.
Rambo's gonna very quietly ask Emilio, is the lady of the house okay?
Yes. Perfectly fine. She didn't fancy entertaining the previous guests that were here today.
Did the previous guests leave through the front door?
I don't remember them leaving, no.
Anyone fun?
There were 4 of them. Didn't particularly interact with them all that much.
4.
What did they look like?
Taller than me. Similar to you, I suppose. I can't say I interacted with them much, I apologise. This way. He leads you up the main stairs towards the large doors, which lead into the throne room, also the grand ballroom.
Can I just whisper very quietly to Rambear? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? The strangers.
The strangers.
They were. The others said that they were like glassed over. Maybe they were thralls. In which case, is Constantine in on it?
We should leave.
We
We should
probably-
take what we can and get it checked.
Yeah.
He pushes in the door to the ballroom, and inside you're greeted with this large, beautiful ballroom. Nyah, it's everything your mother would have wished for. Huge, high arching ceiling, a few kind of thin pillars holding up the roof scattered throughout. Beautiful wooden panelling along the floor, and a slightly raised seating area covered in deep red velvet carpet or rug, where two not ostentatious but very ornate and well carved thrones sit at the head. Rambear, you pick up with your olfactory senses strong smell of blood.
You okay, Rambear?
I'm picking it up. I think other people are probably picking it up. If it's
Yep.
strong.
No, you're a bear.
You're a bear.
I am
was like,
a bear.
You're fidgeting your nose, so I'm like checking up on you.
Yeah. Oh, it's worse than the wine.
What are you smelling?
It's sort of like Thrungi, but cleaner. Sort of. Ugh. God.
Oh, blood. You're smelling blood. Yeah, that's a great description of blood, to be fair. Yeah. But get that straight away. Thrungi but cleaner. Blood.
Yeah. That's, oh. Really,
From this
really
room.
strong. Yeah. Is there any sign of it, like in the room?
Roll a perception check. No, roll an investigation check as you
I
begin
was say,
walking
can
through.
I look for a source of blood?
Yeah, you can both roll investigation.
That is a 16.
That's a nat 20 for 31.
Yeah.
That'll do. Rambear's isn't bad either. Rambear, as you're walking through, you mainly pick up, like, on these pillars, there are signs of heavy impact. Like, the stone is cracked in places. There's scuff marks on the floors. There's kind of... You follow your nose and Faendal kind of comes with you, and Faendal begins to just notice little bits of leftover blood that seeped into the wood. With a 31, Faendal, you are 100% certain you're currently walking through a fairly recent combat zone.
Are there any signs of like magical damage, or is it all force?
There appears to be some with those rolls, like there's scorch marks in places, and various other kind of magical after effects. It's quite hard. Magic's often instantaneous kind of thing, but yeah.
Any leftover identifying remnants of something?
What you see with that 31 is very neatly lying on the stairs, or the steps leading up to the thrones, is 5 objects and a neatly arranged bundle of files.
The objects.
What are the objects?
Do you approach and take a look?
Very carefully and cautiously.
Okay.
In fact, I am very quickly gonna pat my staff on the ground and mage armor myself.
Okay.
And
Do
then
you, wield,
approach
do you
them.
wield 2 staffs? Or is one of them
No,
not
I
tunable?
just prepared the spell.
Ah, right,
mage
okay.
armor.
I thought you had your mage armor
I
stuff.
don't have. No, I got rid of that.
Fair enough. Okay. What does your mage armor look like again?
I never actually said. Just a faint glow.
Fair enough.
Very, very, very June, maybe.
Shimmering glow go over Faendal's body. You get closer, and you can see that there are 4 larger objects, 1 small one, and then, as I said, the glass vials. You see a longsword, a pair of daggers, a crossbow, and a large mace-like object. What's the to be more clear with the mace object? It's more like a morning star. It is like a golden handle, a chain, and then like a hollow spiked metal ball, like it's a cage almost of spikes on the other end of the chain.
Lots of weapons on the stairs prepared for us.
Tell what's special about them?
Not without a thorough investigation. I'm not sure we need weapons necessarily.
We're about to go
Here's the
shopping, right?
There are
What about-
also the glass vials that you have.
We're going into town after this, correct?
Well, at some point, ideally, we want to.
Then why don't we take it all and sell what we don't need?
That would be
Well, we
very
can-
rude,
Last
Thrungi. That would be incredibly rude. I don't think Lord Constantine would be very keen on that.
What's that? I'll point at the files.
Vials.
I'll have a look. I'm hesitant to touch them, but
You see four. You see four like potion-sized vials there, and then one very thin vial. Three of them contain the slightly shimmering red liquid that you're accustomed to as healing potions. One slightly larger than the other two, and another one you can see has got a faint kind of rime of frost and condensation on the outside, and it's like an icy blue liquid. And then the small vial, tiny vial, about yay big, yay there.
a little test tube.
Small test tube contains deep crimson blood. No more than a couple of drops.
He said that he would give us the essence of Zenedis, didn't he?
Is this his blood then?
That's what I would assume.
How
Really?
could we use his blood against him?
I don't know.
Maybe someone needs to drink it and become like him.
I don't know.
I don't think we should drink that. I think
Can
we
I
can
reach
drink
out?
the study.
You can certainly try.
Can I reach out and grab the vials?
Can indeed. Roll me in. You pick up the vials. They're perfectly fine.
How much damage?
You take 1 point of cold damage from that frosty glass. No, you're fine. The vials do nothing to you.
And I'll put them very. I'll pass. Well, actually, I'll pass them very gently to be put in the bag of holding.
To be clear, you have not identified anything.
No, they're just
Taking
potions.
it-
They're fine. I don't have an identify spell. Take much longer than that to identify them. Weapons wise, what were the weapons again?
So you've got this kind of hollow, like cage morning star, a long sword, it's kind of black cloth wrapped handle. Yeah, black cloth wrapped handle. It's almost like a thick katana or a thin cleaver kind of thing. It's quite a broad single edged blade. It's
Straight.
yeah. It's not the most beautiful of weapons, but it definitely hurt kind of thing. And you can see it's got faint. What languages do people know? People with more esoteric languages, to be specific.
Abyssal, Celestial, Sylvan, Undercommon.
Give me 10 minutes on any.
Alright.
It's up to you.
No, not right now. So, languages, I know.
It's not
Well,
draconic,
what-
is it?
It's not draconic, no.
Where are my languages? I
Druidic?
know Gnomish, I know...
It's not Druidic, no. I just want to check one thing.
Where do I put my languages?
Because...
Features.
languages are bottom left of your character sheet.
Oh, I'm stupid. God, I don't know many weird ones. Common, Elvish, Gnomish, Primordial, and Undercommon.
Okay, Nyah, you recognise it, but you cannot read it.
Okay.
Your knowledge of Abyssal, it's a very similar script, but you cannot make out what it says, or even if it says anything.
Okay. I'll tell Faendal. I think it might be similar to Abyssal, but
We'll take it away and I can have a look later maybe.
okay.
Meanwhile, the crossbow just looks incredibly well made. It's... I mean, Damascus doesn't exist, but it's the metalwork is made out of Damascus steel. But the grip and the bows are beautifully maintained wood. But other than that, it looks fairly plain. It's got a couple of like notch marks in it that clearly the previous wielder had added, but that seems to be the only imperfection in the weapon.
Thrungi, you wanting an upgrade on your crossbow? Been getting more used to it recently.
Does it look bigger or the same size? Sorry, smaller or the same size as my current crossbow?
It is slightly smaller. It would be considered a light crossbow. And then the daggers are a matched pair, but one, both kind of straight double-edged daggers, gold or bronze kind of gilding on the handles. The only difference between the two of them is one has a opaque white kind of small egg-shaped gem as the pommel. The other one has a obsidian opaque black gem of exactly the same size and markers, just different colours on the other pommel. They appear to be a pair.
Was there one more weapon? Or am I just missing
There
it?
was one other item which you initially overlooked because it was quite small compared to the rest, and this is a small ring. Which... where's it gone? Sorry. It's kind of ugly, to be honest. It seems to be... it's a gold ring that's not well cast. It's almost like it's been hammered. It's quite straight-edged at various places. And on top is just a chunk of embedded slate. It's kind of been set into the gold, almost like the gold was melted. The slate was like pushed in and then cooled around the slate. Slate's polished at least, but it's quite an ugly design.
Shall we take these all away and investigate them later outside the building?
Yes, okay.
How long does it take to identify stuff?
If you have the identify spell, a minute. Unless you want to
Or
cast it as a
10
ritual,
minutes.
and it's 11.
Oh, 11, yeah.
Other than that, you've got to spend an hour sitting with the object studying it.
Which we'll have to later. I don't have identify, so... Because, I mean, has Emilio left?
Yeah, Emilio's long gone.
So we'll explain. I think me and Rambear can both explain.
I think we should leave first, actually.
We're
Faendal.
going to have everything. And then, yeah, we'll explain afterwards. We're going to try and rush out.
As we're like leaving, Rambear's already starting to cast Wind Walk.
Yeah. I mean,
Actually, before we even entered the room,
I would
Ram
just need to teleport us.
Yeah, we could just teleport right from here.
Yeah. Do you want me? I was going to do it outside rather than inside.
it takes 10
anyway.
minutes, so as long as it's less than 10 minutes, Rambear's starting to cast it.
No, stop, Rambear. I will literally. I can just teleport us straight to Bay. Do you want to go to Citadel first or Bay Falls? Still the middle of the night, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, fools.
We're gonna just wait around in Bay Falls for what, 5 hours?
Go to the seaside.
It would give us time to
Everywhere.
identify the object we've just picked
Surely
up.
we should warn Cerstia so they can evacuate. We don't know when Zenedis will strike. I think they should have the warning as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So that they
Maybe we can get help identifying objects there as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, Nyah's right.
Well, the last time we went there, he wasn't very happy with the objects we brought us.
These are
Safer.
different.
I
Alright.
think, given that we're trying to save the world, he'll understand.
Shove everything in your bag. Let's all hold hands, even though we don't technically need to.
Let's all hold hands anyway.
Rambear, do you have something very deeply connected to the Coral Tree Grove?
I did, but I sent it back.
Any item?
Any item.
Does Rambear not count?
Honestly, no.
I do
Sadly not.
think I have a...
What if you plucked a piece of hair off Rambear? It's then an object.
No, Rambear is going to take a scale off of their Elder Sequoia scale mail.
Okay, the AC reduces by 1. No.
Mean!
Just a whole 1 by 1 scale.
It was just like the scale that was holding it all together. The whole thing, like, it was like, oh, they're naked.
Did you not have a weapon or something? Or a wand or something?
Scale mail.
Did you not get a weapon or something from...
I do have stuff of the adder. I feel like the scale, it's more...
Alright, yeah. Peel off a piece of... I also thought you got like a twig or something, but I don't know. Alright,
I did. I sent that back.
okay. Are we ready?
Yeah, let's leave.
Do we want to just leave Rambear? We
Yeah, we
don't
can
want to investigate further into what might have happened here, or are we just gonna... Rambear, are we fine with just leaving it without knowing what's happened here?
What are you?
We
What are
can
you?
investigate later.
If Rambear's okay with it, I'm okay with it. We're okay with just leaving it.
Are you okay with it? Does
Yeah.
anybody care?
Care about what?
Okay,
Let's-
let's go.
The blood that's spattered everywhere.
I was going to say, that's the first time Nyah's noticed it.
Oh God.
Yeah, shh. Let's just go.
That's an after war
Um,
thing. We can investigate.
Yeah, not important right now.
Yeah, if the universe still exists, we can come back.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's their last meeting.
I'll grab the scale and I will teleport us all to the blah blah blah. Coral Tree.
Coral Tree
we're
Grove.
not gonna... Damn it, we were gonna do that with your tree teleporting.
Yeah, we were.
Too late.
No, genuinely, where do you want to go? You are actively thinking about this while you're casting teleport. It's up to you. You're intelligent enough to have thought about this before you suddenly did it.
We want to go to Citadel. It's the initial plan. I think was that
We were going to use my tree.
man can do a tree thing. So shall we go outside instead and just find a tree and?
Can we retcon that? Will you let us?
Yeah.
Because that was the initial plan. It's what we had
Yeah.
discussed.
I will also say that, yeah, because Rambear was already trying to work out how to get out of there the second they got in.
Your challenge is finding a tree that'll work here.
It only needs to be
Mm.
big. It doesn't need to be super alive.
Just
If
the
you're nearly
tiniest
a
thing.
harvest, it's gonna be like cactus.
Is Gethin gonna be like, no?
No
I
trees
have to
here.
be super alive.
Where'd you go to try and find a tree? There isn't one directly outside the front door.
Oh god. Can we teleport to somewhere there aren't none?
Bayfalls has got loads of trees.
But then seriously is delayed. You don't know a tree well enough in Bay Falls either to go to Bay Falls from Citadel.
No. No.
It sounds like either we go to Citadel now and scrap Bay Falls, or we go to Bay Falls wait around for 8 hours. And then got a serious D8 in the middle of the day.
Warn them.
All this money.
Okay, but how would you feel if they all died because you were busy buying trinkets?
It's not
Is he
trinket.
getting it?
We want
He's getting out
gold.
another binder. He wasn't planning for us to go to Citadel today.
Nope. I did make notes about it a short while ago, though. So
Should we go no, should we just go Bearfolk?
if you want to go to
Yeah.
Citadel, it can work. I can do it. I just need to find specific notes. That's all.
We can also go to Bearfolk. There are trees there, we know. Like, the
Let's-
druid folk are really horrible. Like, if you wake them up from their naps, God, they're so grouchy.
Let's just go to Bearfolk. We'll go to Bearfolk.
Do we know how to teleport to Bearfolk? Do you have something from there?
Yep, definitely.
Alright.
We each have one very important thing from Bearfolk. Super important. Very emotionally attached to things.
That's quite true.
I knew that we could get to Bearfolk. I knew that it could get us to 100%. So we'll do Bearfolk.
Oh.
Let's teleport us to Bearfolk.
Oh.
I will grab the ribbon. No, I don't have the ribbon on my staff anymore. I gave it to Ven.
Give it to them.
So I will have to grab someone else's ribbon. Rambear, can I grab your ribbon?
Yep, the ribbon that is around my head, like Ram.
Yep, I will just. I'll pet you on the head. Pet you on the head. We'll all hold hands. Teleport us to Bearfolk.
Gethin, you can put the binder away. It's okay.
No, I'm finding it now. No
You're
idea
doing
where
other
it's gone.
things. You're trying to remember all the merchants that we need to piss off in Bayfalls.
Yeah, okay.
Besides, this gives you more time to plan how Siristia is a burning wreck when we arrive.
It wouldn't be a
Exactly.
burning wreck.
Oh, I told you so.
It'll be a necrofied wreck.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Rambear will be very comforted by your "I told you so."
Sort that out later. There's a lot of notes in there. Okay. What does your teleport look like, Faendal?
Teleport. It's essentially a quick teleportation circle. Big. We all hold hands. A big circle appears on the floor around all of us, consumes us, and then, whoop. And as it whoops, everyone disappears. Sort of phases.
Where in Bayfalls are you aiming for?
Well, it's wherever the ribbon was from, really, isn't it?
God, where did you get that ribbon from?
We're just in the middle of a shop. No, I tell you what. Oh no, actually, never mind. I'll change my mind on that. I was about to say it will be where Rambear gave us the ribbons.
That
But
would
if I
be
recall-
the Emerald
I
Goblet,
thought-
because you were outside of that when she handed them to you.
No, if I remember correctly, she gave us it on a boat.
Yeah, I think it was.
Fair enough.
So we will not do that.
Okay.
We'll just the centre of Bearfolk. Tell you what, I know Bearfolk very well, don't
Now your memories are back, yeah.
I? It'll be the centre, the square where they're snapping.
Okay.
Yeah.
The feeling of sea breeze, cool air suddenly hits you all. As you now find yourself standing in a wide open courtyard that leads down to the docks. Well polished stone flagstones. And middle of the night. It's probably between the various things you've been up to. Time traveling across a continent.
I was thinking like midnight, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, you're about midnight-ish.
Got eight or so hours to kill before shops.
You are
Well,
friends with some shopkeepers. You could try waking them up. Or you could not. You also have a bunch of items that you want to investigate.
Shall we find somewhere, some shelter?
There's got to be an inn still open.
The
Yeah,
spa we went to.
That
Before
spa is
we,
definitely shut.
We are not doing another spa day.
But the Emerald Goblet would definitely be open. what you know about Bay Falls is Bay Falls, especially the Artisans district, very much comes alive later at night.
Cool, we'll go there.
You head towards the Artisans district. It's a fair trek from where you are. You're close to the docks at this point, or the military side of the docks anyway. And you head around, and there's the sound of taverns and cheers and lute playing, especially lute playing. There is a lot of music coming from the troop sector, as it's known, as you begin to approach. And there's numerous lights on there, and I assume you make your way to the same tavern you've always frequented in Bay Falls?
Yep.
You head your way to the Emerald Goblet, run by Jeff, the human bartender with his bushy moustache and short buzz-cut hair. It's decently well packed in here. A few people are still drinking into the night. It's not rammed to the gills, but the number of people are still in here. See you come in. Oh yeah, late starters tonight, are you? What can I get you?
A room. Just one room for us all. We just want a private room for us. And I suppose a round of drinks as well when we get there.
That's more than I was expecting. 2 rounds. Gotcha.
Love you, Jeff.
He pulls up a bunch of tankards.
You know what, Jeff, as well? If you've got any meat, I'm sure all of us would love meat. We've had gruel the past few days.
I think we're out, but I might try and find something for you if you're so inclined.
Quite happy for some fruit, if you have any, actually. The smell of blood is a bit off-putting at the moment.
I'll take a look. He finishes pouring up the tankards for you, throws 10 tankards down in front of you, does some quick mental maths. Hold on. Heads back into the kitchen. Comes back out with a single, essentially a salami, that has taken out a third has been used or so, and he's got fairly large hands, and 3 apples, a couple of bruises on them. They're nothing special.
Got a little black apple.
Call it a couple of gold.
I'll call it 10. There you go.
Cheers.
You know us, Jeff. We're generous when we come in here.
Aye. You using the common area and straight up. Straight up.
All up there.
Hand you over a key. Hold on. Pulls that back. Goes and grabs a different one. All the way along the hall. I'll give you the end one.
Oops, on the bed.
Cool. Let's all head up. Unless Thrungi wants to get himself an extra cask.
Thrungi just pulls out his tankard and just fills it up.
Cool. And shall we sit down and discuss? Before I get onto the horrible chore of going, going through the items. Rambear and I noticed. I think everyone noticed towards the end, the room. Me and Rambear have a theory. It definitely felt like the Wayfaring Strangers had been there.
Like Emilio would have said, they were like us, but uglier and more annoying if it were the Wayfaring Strangers, but he's too polite for that.
Why would
Yes.
the Wayfaring Strangers have been there?
Well, Thrungi, you told us at the end of the battle that they were vacant, weren't they? It seemed like they were under a spell or something, or under a thrall.
Aye.
Perhaps that's when it had occurred. The last we saw of the Wayfaring Strangers, they had headed into Vandis.
But Lord, he's working against. He doesn't want this to succeed.
That's why we're suspicious of these items. We've taken them.
you think they're cursed or something.
We need to be
I'm
very
not
sure they're not before we use them.
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, let's thoroughly investigate them.
I'll be honest. I don't know of a way to check of them being cursed or not before we just attune to them.
To be clear, just mechanically, you don't have to attune to an item to learn what it does. You can just spend an hour with it.
But does that still tell you if it's cursed?
No, you would have to attune to it to know it's
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's fair, sorry.
So,
So to know if it's cursed or not, we would have to attune to it.
Do we find out if we have to attune to the item during that hour?
Yes, you would. That hour is basically like studying it, feeling it out, becoming comfortable with the magic, and you would realise whether to fully unlock that magic you would have to bind with it.
I find it weird that you then have to do that again if you ever unattune from it.
No, in that instance, if you realise you would need to attune to it and you decide you want to, that would also count in that period. You wouldn't have to do a second
No,
hour.
I mean, if you attune to it, then unattune from it, and then attune to it again, you still need that hour of studying it.
Yes.
terrible memory when it comes to the objects.
Completely forgotten what the
I'll
thing
add
is.
it to my notes to rework the attunement system, okay?
I think it's just a meditation thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
To like realign with it.
Really like getting in the vibe. We can attune to 4 things that are cursed, and hopefully not.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
Not each.
Not each.
I'm with her now.
4 items.
4 of us can attune to a cursed thing, and then Thrungi beats us over the head until we're sane again.
It
I
does
mean,
mean
it works.
it does mean that we'll have to start unattuning from items as well.
Yes, something we haven't done in quite a long time, actually. I
While
think
this
we've
is still
started our
going
original-
on, Thrungi's just going to start having a look at the crossbow.
Okay. You just start sitting down and looking over that crossbow.
Rambear is playing with the mace.
Does it? It takes an hour to unattune as well.
No, unattune is instant.
Okay. Shall we all just pick an item and attempt to attune, like study it, and then maybe attune to it, and see if things end up cursed? We've got people who can get rid of curses, right?
Yeah.
I think one of you still got a scroll.
Or remove curse.
I didn't realize that till today. Yeah, I still got a scroll of remove curse.
That would have been really fanatic, wouldn't it? Alright. I'll take the ring. I don't really need weapons.
Okay.
I'll grab the daggers, I guess.
Daggers. You've got a long sword and a
Sword.
spiked morning star flail thing. Which I do have images for most of these, but I can't share them.
I thought that would. I really thought I knew how that would turn out. I knew exactly who would pick which item.
Sorry, who was taking which?
The monk is taking the daggers because multi attacks. Nyah is taking the sword because aesthetic, and then Rambear is taking the big spiky thing that she hits things with.
Okay.
Because aesthetic.
It's aesthetic.
There with a flail.
To be fair, I'm imagining it in my head as looking a little bit like a tumbleweed on a stick. Like a spiky
An
tumbleweed.
empty
on a
cage thing.
I'm actually genuinely imagining just a giant, you know, those metal but like hollow D20s.
Ooh.
It's similar in design, but it is spherical rather than polyhedral. But
So,
very
alright.
similar to that concept. We will start with Bryn, with Thrungi, since he started looking first. I'm posting images in in-game chat.
Remove curses.
As I said, it's a very nice crossbow
Very nice.
that just fits together incredibly well. After that hour, you realise you do need to attune to it. It is known as a true strike crossbow.
Oh, it was just going to be a +3.
It's got 3 charges, regains all expended charges at dawn. As a bonus action, you can spend a charge and set the crossbow's sight on a target within 60 feet. For 1 minute or until you choose a different target, you have advantage on ranged attack rolls against that creature using this weapon. In addition,
Sniper.
you ignore all cover when targeting the crossbow with the target with this crossbow.
It's a sniper rifle.
Okay.
It's heat seeking, basically.
It's useless to it.
Hmm?
That's the information you have. These aren't on D&D Beyond yet, but I'll put them on there for anyone who actively uses them. If you sell them, then I won't bother. Faendal chose next.
The ring?
The ring. This is known as a slate light ring. Okay. Image going in here. Again, this does require attunement. This decorated thick gold band is adorned with a single polished piece of slate. While wearing this ring, you have dark vision out to a range of 60 feet. If you already have dark vision, it increases the range by 60 feet. In addition, you can cast the Fairy Fire spell from it once per day.
Cute.
Balthazar, with your stabby stabs. Give me a second. There we go. Beautiful, well-balanced daggers. Match pair of daggers, except for the stones set in their pommels. One white, one black. You have +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls with these magic weapons. They count as a single attunement between the two of them. The bonus for attack and damage increases to +3 with the white dagger when you attack a monstrosity, and increases to +3 on the black dagger when you attack an undead.
I'd like to attune to those after studying them.
If you hit a monstrosity or undead with both daggers in the same turn, the creature takes an extra 1d6 piercing damage from the second attack.
Nice.
Cool.
Very, very nice.
I'll have to check whether they count as monk weapons for you, but I think because you're Kensei,
It's
they
nice.
probably do.
Yeah, I think I probably chose daggers or something at some point in my Kensei.
We'll look at it later since
Options.
you are attuned
Yeah.
to it. I'll get also the stat block on D&D Beyond for you after this session.
Cool.
Then... Interesting. Rambear. You have the object known as Caged Star. Caged Star. Magical Morning Star, again, requires attunement. Has 3 charges, regaining them at dawn. When an attacker that you can see hits you with an attack while you're using this, you can expend a charge as a reaction to halve the attack's damage. When you do so, the Morning Star spiked ball then glows with radiant light, and until the end of your next turn, when you hit with the Morning Star, the target takes an additional 1d8 radiant damage. So basically, someone hits you, it protects you somewhat, and then allows you to hit back harder. And finally, for Nyah, I don't actually have an image of this one for Nyah. I do apologise. This happens to be the one I don't have. But what you have is a baneful long-sword. And you realise while looking at this that while it isn't abyssal, it is infernal. It's the language of devils that is written upon the length of the blade.
No great history of them.
Again, it requires attunement. It's not as good as your sword, but basically when you hit a creature with the attack, you can force them to make a charisma save, and on a failure, they are essentially the next attack or saving throw they make, they subtract a d4 from. It's like a mini Bane. And that's everything you have.
I'll explain what the sword does in case anyone wants it. I'll explain that it would be rude of me to fight with anything other than Sakael. You might get touchy if I wield something else.
I have no need for any of this.
I only need stuff I can't attune to. Or I don't need to attune to.
While we're here, the other objects: 2 potions of healing, 1 greater healing potion, and a potion of cold resist. With the 4 potions.
And a vial of blood.
And a vial of blood.
Which he did say was Zenedis' blood.
It's what you've inferred.
What did he say about Zenedis' blood?
He said that it could functionally remind them of their former mortality.
So perhaps
He didn't give you direction on how to use it.
Maybe we just need to stab him with something that's covered with his own blood.
Maybe if he tries to drink the blood of someone who has drunk it.
Is the library open? This feels like the sort of thing.
Which library, to be clear? You've been to many.
The one in Bearfolk.
Bayfalls. One you haven't actually been to.
I mean, I will have in the past.
True. Yeah. It's
Actually, maybe not. When I was in Bayfalls, I didn't really go to the library.
No, there would be a public one up in the Arcane District. It's not going to have everything in it, but it would probably still be open just as a centre of learning.
Would it be...
Come on.
After you.
I was just going to say, on a separate note, Balthazar's daggers will count because simple weapons are monk weapons.
Wonderful, thank you.
It's then anything that isn't a simple weapon he can pick from a list, hence the reason why his long sword counts as a monk weapon.
Yeah. Cheers. I was
I
going to
wonder
look
what
at the page.
dragons were.
Nice one. Yeah, would feel better if we could find out if you do actually have to drink the blood before anybody here drinks the blood. It just feels weird, right? Right? It's not just me.
It might be a question we can ask Janet as well. If you have any ideas for powers of blood.
I don't think Janet has blood. You might know about it.
Bloodless silver.
He would have a blood-like substance. Tree bleeds sap.
Yeah.
Which
never
does
seen
open
blue.
up the door that you can make syrup from his blood, and I don't quite like that concept.
Gethin, you can make syrup from anybody's blood. Grow up.
Now who's the vampire?
Oh, I'm just gotta put some Sylvan syrup on my pancakes. No, it's sap.
Okay, we can. Yeah, we don't need to go. I can't read. I'm not going to a library.
You can try. I believe in you, Rambear.
Thank you.
Should probably teach you at some point.
If we survive.
If you survive, I'll give you reading lessons around there.
Thank you, Nyah. The main problem is I can't hold paper because of
That's okay.
Have opposable thumbs.
I have claws.
We'll get you really, really tough books.
Sounds good.
I hear that dwarves can make them on like very thin slate. Alright. Items, none of us are we just gonna sell them then?
Selling it, that's
I'm
rude.
gonna say it would be very rude to just sell them, wouldn't it? And we've got money.
I'm just gonna, for now, carry it where Wayfinder was before.
Oh, I thought we were just gonna
It
take them
feels
back on.
weird to not. I'm used to the
You're
weight of 2 swords.
You're like a witcher.
I've been imagining that the entire time with Nyah, I'm not gonna lie.
One sword that she never touches as well. I want to miss Wayfinder. It's got a really cool name. I kind of,
And we're never gonna know which way north is anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
I
lost.
really kind of wanted
I will-
Wayfinder.
I will just make a point at this point for you, Nyah. The fact that you no longer own Wayfinder means you have an open attunement slot.
Yeah.
So,
What
of the like
attunement slot?
dozen magical items the rest of you have been hoarding that require attunement and are not using, maybe wonder whether stuff could get passed around.
I mean,
Hey,
the only thing I have that I'm not attuned to are my fire straps, and I don't think Nyah wants those.
No, they're in your skin.
Yeah, they are genuinely fused to you. You can't pass them
Oh, I
off.
know.
Once again, she could take the little hook thing.
Not with my roll. Not with my rolls, I don't wanna.
So
Well, the-
Thrungi has been thinking about this. The challenge is that Thrungi can easily get advantage to hit, which makes it a flat roll.
Yeah.
That's good. Keep it.
But
You would get disadvantage. But the charisma save there.
the charisma check is where he has an issue.
So
If-
from you could get the
If
rolls
you're
more.
close to me, do you get the +3?
No, it's not a save.
Check.
So it forces Zenedis to make, well, the person it hits to make a save.
Maybe we just teach you to be charismatic in the next 6 hours.
Or we figure out ways for you to get advantage.
Well, Thrungi,
Hang on. If we can knock Zenedis, I mean, this is just strategizing now. Just having a little, the in-character strategizing. If you can knock Zenedis off his mount, or if we can get Zenedis off his mount, you'll get advantage from being mounted combatant if you can stay on your horse.
Yes.
I assume that while he's mounted, she won't.
No.
Rules as written does, but is mounted.
Yeah, I'd rule no on that, but I agree with if not mounted, she would.
How would you get him off his mount though? You saw his mount. It's a beast.
We kill beasts.
We've also befriended beasts.
We could focus on killing his mount first. Maybe it'd be worth you having a hook. Otherwise, all I've got is I've got a cloak. I've got the shroud, the spear shroud. Not needed anymore. Don't know what anyone else has.
The mace. It sounds pretty cool. Radiant light.
ironically enough, the sword would be handy.
Her sword.
The sword, if we can time it so that you strike with that sword.
Again, that sword is attacks and saves, not checks.
For me, yes. But it's a contested charisma check. Sorry.
It's like a grapple, but with charisma.
Never mind.
Yeah. The sword. The sword's a bit rubbish.
Thrungi at this point probably asks, do any of you know spells that can help with charisma?
Yeah,
Requires concentration, I think.
but it requires concentration. We could, are we gonna really just buff Fungus Charisma out there?
What spell?
Ooh, no, I can't actually.
Intelligence charisma checks, yeah.
If it was like a skill, I could do it, but it's not. It's straight charisma.
What's the spell?
Me?
Well, Thrungi is asking. Bryn knows. Thrungi is asking what the spell is.
I have skill empowerment. Wouldn't help.
I have enhanced ability, which would help. But
Okay.
it does require an hour of concentration. Like concentration for an hour, which means that Rambear can't fight.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know where I'm
Rambear
going.
can't do the one major thing that their whole subclass is designed to do.
Well, I know where I'm going once this town wakes up.
Are you going to get something that's going to take 6 months crafted to be done in 2 hours? Tattoo? You've got
It
too
is-
much skin showing at the moment.
At this point, it has been 12 hours since Zenedis acquired the sphere.
No, don't tell us that.
We don't have long.
I'm making. You guys are aware you're on a ticking clock. You would be tracking that.
Yes.
Well, it's still not daylight yet.
What do you want to do until dawn?
Maybe I'll get a tattoo too, you know?
We're strategizing.
Why not? In
Uh,
your once. Lol, not.
Potentially, this ring. I mean, you have dark vision now, so that's not an issue. But this ring would also allow you to potentially get advantage against Thunder. It will allow you to cast Fairy Fire on him, which, if it succeeds, would give you advantage. Would also mean you can't turn invisible. If that's something you want to be attuned to.
Doesn't seem like a kind that would be invisible. Pretty flashy.
Regardless, these conversations continue long into the night and into dawn. You know, Bayfalls wakes up at dawn and gets to work. Where are you all heading to for when shops open?
Well, potions and I want scrolls.
Those would both be out of the places that you know, the Mithril Hourglass, which is your
I want-
standard general magic shop that you've attended a few times.
That's my go-to. I don't know about anyone else.
Thrungis are going to pass the crossbow and just say, it's not useful to me. Sell it if we need the funds. We need all the potions we can probably get and then some. And then he'll be heading off to the tattoo shop to see if it can be done.
Okay.
Get for two.
Yeah.
Why don't you get your dragon eye?
No. I have dark vision now.
Balthazar, Rambear, Nyah, heading Mithril Hourglass. There are other shops you frequented in the past that can do magical goods.
No, I'm going with Thrungi to get a tattoo while to inquire.
Okay. Balthazar, Rambear.
I'll follow Faendal.
Yes, I think potion scrolls.
Cool. We'll start at the Mithril Hourglass for the sake of time, and so I don't have to flirt. Well, I would love to flirt with Stephen more, but for the sake of time, it's, as I say, you're there first. You kind of get first dibs on things. Run by Nyah, the brass Dragonborn, with her cute little circular spectacles perched on the end of her nose, and her everly warm mug of coffee or tea. Potions. She has, in terms of healing potions, 7 regulars, 4 greaters, and 2 superiors. Other potions she has includes an oil of slipperiness and a potion of watchful rest. Potion of watchful rest allows you to take a long rest without actually sleeping. Still takes 8 hours, but someone can be awake and alert during the entire rest. You can ask prices on that. In terms of other consumables, they have a draft of wild magic, which is something you've had once before, I believe.
We did shots.
Indeed. They also have newly invented by her some incenses that can do various things. You have an incense of erudition, which I can't find right now. There you go. Each one takes an hour to burn, so like over the period of a short rest, and each creature that is in the area gains a different benefit. Erudition grants creatures advantage on wisdom, intelligence, and charisma ability checks and saves for 8 hours. Fortitude, you gain temporary hit points equal to your level and advantage on con saves. And restoration, during a short rest, you cure any blindness, deafness, disease, or reduction of hit point maximum, and reduce your exhaustion level by 1.
How much do the incenses
Do they
cost?
stack?
You would have to spend separate hours, otherwise mixing them could incur the similar effects of imbuing multiple potions.
And yeah, their cost?
Each collection of incense costs 500 gold pieces each. brand new invention.
I can see your whistling, but I can't hear it.
And they only
Yep.
affect one person.
That
Only
first
one?
one that
Yeah,
ups
you
the
would need multiple ones to hit everyone.
They only affect one person.
You can't just like huff it together. Like stand really close, like.
It's not a shared bong.
So it's less of an incense and more of a vape.
Yeah. It's personal.
A mental vape.
So those are consumables. Draft of Wild Magic is 200 gold if you're interested in it.
Ooh, tempting.
Scrolls. She doesn't have a lot of scrolls, but she has some. Is there anything particular you're looking for? Or just general browsing?
Oh, I tell you what I would love. Mirror image.
Mirror image. She does happen to have mirror image.
How much does mirror image cost?
Mirror image costs. No.
'Cause I want to be able to goddamn protect myself.
Mirror image would cost 250 gold pieces.
Or how much would it cost? Copy again? Is it second level?
It's a second level.
it'd be
And
100 gold.
illusion top.
50 gold per level in it.
50 gold per level and 2 hours per level.
Time! Every time. Always time. I'll take it. 250 gold.
250
I
gold.
want that.
Other scrolls include, if anyone is interested in them, as one uses, Hunter's Mark, Ceremony, Chromatic Orb, Darkness, Intellect Fortress, Stinking Cloud, Storm Breath, Summon Draconic Spirit, and Bigby's Hand.
Draconic Spirit. Ooh.
I'm interested in
Yeah, what-
Draconic Spirit.
What does that do?
Which one, sorry?
Summon Draconic Spirit.
Go and
I
look
think,
it up.
I think it is fair enough to let Balthazar get the.
It
Draconic
does
Spirit
cost 4,500 gold pieces, that scroll.
Okay, we can do it.
then.
What does it do?
We asked
What does it do?
It is a 5th level spell that summons a Draconic Spirit.
Yeah, but what the hell does that do? Is it just like hover behind you, being mystical and do nothing?
It's like summoning a beast like Rambear does all the time, but
Okay,
Dragon.
good, and a dragon.
A bit draconic.
a big dragon beast.
It is a concentration
Also-
spell, so bear that in mind.
Only the one-
And you would have to roll to use the scroll because it is not a cleric spell.
Yeah.
It is a druid, sorcerer, or wizard spell.
What are the scrolls for?
Hunter's Mark, Ceremony, Chromatic Orb, Darkness, Intellect Fortress, Stinking Cloud, Storm Breath, and Bigby's Hand.
Mirror
And
image
lastly, she brings out 3 other objects, as you are frequent customers and have bought very expensive things from her from the past. And she puts out
Very expensive.
a deck of cards in a purple and silver case.
What?
That has an eye sitting on the top, like engraved, embossed in gold, in silver.
Is this illusions
In
or
a
anything?
small box, ring box, pops open the lid, is a gold banded ring with a gem carved to look like a brain sitting on the top. And lastly, in a sealed protective case with a lock that she does not unlock, is a gold and blue scarab-like pin or brooch.
Explain, please.
These I happen to have lucked into finding through various purposes, and from my best estimations are all worth an extreme amount. This over here is what's known commonly as a deck of illusions. 6,500 gold. This here is a ring of mind shielding, which, in order for me to make a profit on, would be 10,000 gold. And finally, I think is perhaps the greatest artifact I've come across in my time here, a Scarab of Protection, which would be 25,000 gold.
We just don't have that, do we?
We don't.
We have magic items to maybe trade in. But I think as a party, we do not have 25,000. My book was 10,000. It took me like two real life years.
Meanwhile, while those lot are discussing that, Nyah and Bryn, you head over to Insignia to look for magical tattoos.
I've merged.
Platinum?
I've merged with my character.
Sorry, yes.
I am Bryn.
Nyah and Thrungi. You head over to Insignia in the troop sector. What are you inquiring for?
Thrungi wants to see if they can. He's gone to the same place he went before.
Yep, same place.
So he wants to see if they can create an enhance ability tattoo, just the basic one that only affects him, that will continue while he is raging.
Interesting. Again, for the sake of brevity, I would love to roleplay this out, but we got a bit of a hard deadline. The commentary is such an idea has not been accomplished by them. They're aware of the concept of being so angry you can't concentrate on something, and trying to pull that off would require a decent amount of time figuring out the required runic inscription that you possibly don't have time for. It would take them time, they would need to research, they would need to talk to arcane specialists.
What's that? The only reason he went is because obviously they did the fireball tattoo where he was raging and went off.
Yeah, that's an instantaneous thing. It's the concentration element, able to continually be thinking about the spell maintaining is the problem. Release of a spell or raging is easy enough. It's an impulse. As I say, it's the concentration part that they are. The artist that you went to previously, who's Koshk, the lizard folk, just immediately tells you no. It's not something he's going to fuck with. He knows what he does, and he does it well. High Noon, the Tabaxi woman, though, is all up on the idea. She loves kind of pushing the edges of tattoos.
But time frame wise.
You can certainly request it, but the chances of it being it's not going to be ready for you today, is my point. Nyah, what are you looking for while Bryn reconsiders his options?
I'm basically saying...
See, I'm gonna cry.
No, I'm basically saying that I have a bit of a problem with dying. So if you could, like, give me a tattoo or something that heals me when I'm at, like, you know, my very, very lowest as in dying. Like, a little jolt just to keep me going.
You essentially want the spell that was put on you previously as a tattoo.
Like,
So
Britain's
you've got two options. You can either ask for the one that Thrungi has all over him, which is his necrotic resistance always brings him back, which is very expensive and takes a long time. Or you can ask for a one-use tattoo spell, which still takes a while to ink in, but isn't as expensive.
It's an hour per level, I believe.
It is. Your Lifewell tattoo was like a day and a half of ink work.
Oh yeah. No, I was just talking about the second
Yes.
option.
It is 1 level per 1 hour per level of the spell to ink on, and then there is a flat 500, and then it's 1,000 for each level of the spell on top of that. This is like having a scroll that automatically works, could be of any spell, and someone can't steal it from you.
So it's
Which is
about
why it's
5
expensive.
About 5 grand.
Yeah, 4.5 grand for.
You do not have that.
I don't have 5 grand.
You have 3 grand. Almost exactly 3 grand.
I have 3 grand. And this sword.
Thrungi is there with you. You might be able to chip in. They're not accepting a sword as payment.
Yeah, that's that. Could 3 grand not? Even if it was like slightly weaker.
What if they did it as a tramp stamp?
Doesn't work like that.
My mother will kill me.
She'll kill you if you get a tattoo anyway.
That is true.
Thrungi, did you have something else you want to look at?
No, that was the only thing he wanted. Other than that, he'll probably go and have a look at the other magic shops.
You can overhear Nyah debating whether she has the funds, just so you know.
I can pay the rest back if I survive. And if the tattoo works, that increases my chances of surviving.
How short is she?
How much money do you have, Nyah?
She's 2 grand.
I have 3 grand.
She's $1.5 grand short.
Yeah, £1.5 short.
Have I mentioned that this is to save the world, which affects you, good person?
He dumps the extra 1,500 on the thing and takes the sword.
Thank you, Thrungi.
Just you have.
I owe you lots of drinks.
Okay. Note that down, that you have a... Essentially, you have a permanent death ward on you until it's used.
So what? How does that?
If you were to take damage that would drop you to 0 hit points, instead you fall to 1 hit point.
Okay.
And then the tattoo burns up and is gone.
Okay. What does the tattoo look like?
That is entirely up for you to design in the 4 and a bit while you design it, hour window while you're getting that tattoo, and I will circle back to you. You can think about it over the Christmas break to let us know what that looks like.
It's a level 5 spell, right?
Level 4.
Level 4. It takes up the entirety of 1 limb.
Thank you for checking.
Do I want like an arm sleeve, a leg thing, my entire back?
We'll let you figure that out.
It will be your back. It's just the limb.
Yeah, so I mean, I will accept like pec area, considering it's like a defib if you wanted that, but that's the kind of size you're looking
it
at.
will cover half of it because of very rare is 2 limbs or the chest or the upper back.
So you can have it like on the left side over the heart.
Yeah, you can have it literally like over your heart to V-fib you.
Yeah.
But we'll let you think about that. Those of you at the Mithril Hourglass, what are you buying?
0 plan.
How much are all the health potions?
60 gold for a regular healing potion.
Let's forward even.
250 for a greater, 1500 for a superior. Discounts can be had for mass buying of them.
Can I just buy them all?
Buy them all? Okay.
How much would you give me?
That'll shave 250 off each of the superiors. So that'll be 2,500 for the superiors. It'll be another 1,000 for the graters. So you're at 3.5. And then they'll bring the regular healing potions down to 50 gold, so that's another 350. So you're at 3,850 gold.
Okay.
Don't do it now.
Yeah.
Done.
Will she buy a ring of striking lightning and a ring of thunder resistance off me?
Yeah, she would definitely purchase them off you.
Trade that first before we get to the rest of the cash. You said
you can indeed. So ring of thunder resistance would be 2,000 gold that you'll get back for the ring of thunder resistance, and for the striking lightning would be, I'm trying to remember exactly what it does. Magic charge. Call it the same.
Okay. Can I trade those for all those potions?
Yeah, that is a fair trade. She's happy to take.
Cool.
Don't suppose she'll do a 90% discount on that scarab?
No. She knows what she has.
That scarab is that is the worst thing you've ever done. In that we can't, as a party, afford.
I'll legit say I rolled on random treasure tables and it came up and I was like, I'm putting it in.
Oh, it's so upsetting. So upsetting.
Can we continue the trading?
It hurts because the scarab.
What do you want to trade for?
So useful.
What are you trading?
So I still have Faendal's Staff of Protection, I think.
Okay.
Oh, that win. I gave you the
What?
ultimate one. No, it's fine. I don't need it.
You don't need it? I think we can probably buy some of these scrolls sound pretty juicy.
Okay.
I've also got, if you want, I've got a spare scroll that I've not copied in. A scroll of Faithful Hound, 4th level scroll. So I'm sure that she'd be willing to trade scroll for scroll.
That's true. But yeah, we'll get rid of the Staff of Protection because it's just in my bag.
Okay.
Along with, I also had a number of gems that I never cashed in, which I'm just going to assume I did at some point.
Okay, yeah, we can assume that you've got the... Or they can just be traded at face value, that's fine.
Yeah, and then there's one more thing I have which I don't. Oh, your autumn cloak.
The autumn cloak that you
Sure.
stole off a dead body.
That comes
I
from
didn't.
more people.
Oh yeah, I was gonna return it. Yeah, maybe we should still return it. How much is it worth?
The
It's
autumn
only,
cloak,
it's only uncommon.
it's not a lot.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Less than a
It's
grand.
sentimental value.
Return it to your people. What else was the incenses? I feel like
Yes.
the incenses, erudition for whoever's going to do the book thing. Advantage on charisma checks, and maybe the temporary HP one as well. Was the incenses only work for one person? I thought that.
Maybe one of each.
They're 500 each. All right, go through again. So incenses, there was temp HP.
Temp HP and con saves. Mental saves and checks. And exhaustion and condition removal on a short rest.
I think I want, personally, temp HP and con saves, because my con is terrible.
I don't think we need restoration, because at the very least, if I still have spell slots, then I can restore some things.
I have a scroll of lesser restoration still. But yeah, I want, it's 500 each, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll blow
Area
grand.
light fortitude?
I'll blow grand. I'm going to get the erudition one and the fortitude one.
Okay.
I will also buy those.
Okay.
I think
Oh, is that...
Yeah,
Are we buying
she
one?
has like 3 of each essentially available for sale. So.
Okay.
So we've got 2 eruditions and 2 fortitudes.
Staff of Protection will get you 1750 back, by the way.
Ooh!
Fuck. Alright.
It's a decent.
Faendal, because it was yours.
Uncommon item.
You know what? I've
Yeah,
got
yours.
trading.
Three.
I've still got the shroud, the cloak of protection from detection
Okay.
that was over the sphere.
Yep.
Bear in mind, it's an antique.
Got old man smell on it now. It's got mothball smell.
We found no. We found it in like essentially ancient Egypt.
Roll a persuasion check.
He really wants the scarab.
5. So 25 grand for the cloak.
This is an artifact. The
Decent
ancient
customers.
times.
I'll give you 500 for it.
500 fine. 500.
500,000? Wow.
What?
Please.
Was it worth 1,000?
No. Rambo was like 500,000.
Oh, 500.
Anything else you guys are wanting? You mentioned scrolls. What
Yeah,
scrolls
can
are you
you
trying to get?
Eat the scrolls once more.
At first level, you have Hunter's Mark, Ceremony, Chromatic Orb. Second level, you have Darkness. Third level, you have Intellect Fortress, Stinking Cloud, and Storm Breath, which is a homebrew spell. And then 5th level spells, Summon Draconic Spirit and Bigby's Hand.
Oh,
Would you take a 4th and a 2nd level scroll for that 5th level scroll?
And
Faithful Hound and Lesser Restoration.
which
The
5th
Draconic
level
Spirit.
scroll?
The Draconic Spirit.
Throw in the extra 500 gold that went into its construction. Do you have a deal?
Yep. Cool. You can have it Rambear if you want as well. So I thought it was. You really wanted it.
This is for Balthazar. He's gonna love it.
He can't. He's risky for him to cast it. One of us. Oh, in fact,
Yeah.
Druid. Does Druid get it?
Druid does get it.
It's
Druid
Druid
gets it.
Warlock. Yeah. One of us two really should.
It sounds cool, but yeah, it's not worth it for me to
I mean,
maybe waste it.
Last.
If you let me have 10 hours with it, I could get it permanently.
Bryn, you walked off to other
You have
shops.
to have
What
a
other
weapon.
shops are you looking for? Weapon shops?
You could have it, Rambear. You can have
No,
it.
'cause he's kind of sorted for weapons. He's trying to find anything that will be helpful to him that he wouldn't need to attune to, because he's kind of got he can't really attune to much without losing a lot of stuff.
There's not a lot out there. Is the issue at the level you're at, the kind of powerful stuff you're looking for? If you have a specific thing you're looking for, you can ask around, but just kind of guessing.
Any potions that would up his strength or his charisma would be useful.
You have potions that up your strength already, I'm fairly sure. I think at
No.
various points you guys have been hoarding giant strength potions.
No.
I don't have any
You might
giant
have avoided them.
potions.
Thought you did somewhere along the lines.
I think you might be thinking of someone else, because I would definitely not be asking otherwise.
Different campaign, maybe.
You wonder how long do you want to spend walking around?
Knowing that Nyah is getting a tattoo that's going to be about 5.5 hours long.
4.5, but yeah,
5 hours long then.
fine.
About 4 hours, 4.5.
Okay.
He'll pop into different places, and he will also pop into the other two kind of named ones.
Oh, what if which named ones are you talking about?
Bloodbath and Beyond.
Bloodbath and Beyond. Yeah. How you doing, mate?
Not bad, you?
Yeah, can't complain. Made decent business. Got a few things in shop. What are you looking for?
Anything that can make me a bit more charismatic would be handy.
Not really my billing, if I'm honest, mate.
That's fair.
I'm
Do you have any one-handed axes that I don't need to attune to?
I don't. I've got a couple of things that could be used one-handed. Not an axe. Hang on. And he runs off and goes and grabs two things for you. One is a shield with a chunky ass rune on the front, and just some nice filigree around the sides. It's a bit like a hexagonal shield kind of thing, a large emboss as well. This is slightly enchanted. Wouldn't need to connect to it or anything like that. Might be useful. I know you don't look like someone who uses shields, but you might know somebody who does. Or I got this, and he pulls out this curved piece of metal, kind of dark steel, banded along its length in brass. This, if you like axes and you like throwing them, this works in basically the same way, except if you fuck it up and miss, it's going to come back to you. It's a +2 boomerang.
Not my kind of thing, I'm afraid, but thank
Nah.
you.
Well, I thought I'd offer. I've got a couple of other things, but I don't think you're walking around with a giant axe, and I don't think a couple of swords are going to be that interesting to you. That thing looks pretty damn deadly. I'd love to take a look at it another time, but
Actually, Thrungi is currently walking around with 2 giant axes
well,
because he still has the giant
giant craft ambusher. Yeah.
ambusher.
Well, no. Elsewhere, you'll keep walking around. You do find a shop that is willing to sell you a potion of what did you roll me investigation, actually. This determines where in your journey it turns up.
11.
11. You're able to find a potion of frost giant strength for sale. 1. In a slightly seedy back alley shop. But you do have it. If you want it. Sorry, bear with me. For 3.5 grand.
Thrungi doesn't have that much anymore.
Got some magic items.
Can we telepathically send him money?
Leave it for the moment, just saying that he needs to sell items to be able to do it first.
Fair.
Um,
I mean, we'll take them off your hands if you got them. Don't know somebody will take some stuff.
Fair enough. Might come back. And then finally he'll go to the fancy dryad.
Cool. The lovely two gentlemen who run the fancy dryad, Hugo and Flick, don't have a lot of magic items on sale. They have one, a pelt of the frost bear that they acquired from the north. Frost bears are native to Kisdemans, actually. They're giant, like, dire polar bears. Pelt of frost bear gives you cold resistance, advantage in hiding in snowy terrain, and also it flutters snowflakes behind you as you walk.
Thrungi kind of feels that Rambear might have a problem with it.
Fair. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, didn't think about it. Well, hide it if they come in. Good chap. Is there anything else anyone is looking to buy?
I think so. There's so many things to choose from. I've still got to sell my ring, so we don't need the ring.
Yeah, sure. You can get 1,500 for that ring.
Okay, 1,500, and then what else did she have for sale? She had. We've gone through the scrolls. We've gone through the potions. There were some other potions.
Oil of Slipperiness, Potion of Watchful Rest, Draft of Wild Magic.
I don't think we need the Watchful Rest. I just don't think we're going to have that many long rests between now and then.
We have people that go and watch anyway, and I only meditate. That's not necessary. Wild magic. How much was that? How much was
It would be really funny.
Wild Magic is 250.
I'll take that.
Done.
It would be very funny if we could get as Zenedis like comes off of his mount just to fall like he's like slipping on a banana peel.
Oil of Slipperiness doesn't work like that. It essentially gives you freedom of movement. You can't be grappled or restrained.
Well, that's also quite convenient though.
It's quite good.
How much is it?
500.
Yeah, let's do it.
Takes time to apply.
Thrungi is going to go back to Bloodbath and Beyond.
Yeah.
I want. Okay.
He's going to sell the sword he took from Nyah.
Okay. Doesn't get that much. It's not that special. You get 500 gold for it.
Okay.
Actually, roll me a persuasion check. See whether you can haggle him up.
Persuasion.
Yeah.
Managed to get an 18.
18. He'll give you 800 gold for it.
That's fine. He'll do that. And then he will end up taking the +1 shield.
Okay. +1 shield is 1,500.
So 800. So I lose
700.
700 in total. Mainly because Thrungi's being smart and is knowing that if he is having to use the sickle, he
got something to do in the other hand.
he has a spare hand. So
Fair enough. She does pull out one last thing in the mithril hourglass, and it's a small pouch that she says, I believe this is dust of tracelessness. If you're heading anywhere that you don't want people following you, might be useful. No takers? Okay then. pulls it back. Any last minute shopping?
Still don't know. I want something that ideally replace my cloak. So I want to look around for something wearable.
You can head over to the Fancy Dryad and meet the guys there, and you can find out about this pelt of the Frostbear.
And then reject it.
I will also say you can claim your capelet of dragon scales back off Balthazar.
I do still have that, yeah.
You know, the thing that you spent ages paying
Are
for.
you using it?
I'm wearing it, but I haven't used it, so
You're not attuned to it.
It's not tuned.
it doesn't need attunement.
What is it? Resistance to ice and...
As a reaction, you can gain
Poison.
resistance to cold or poison.
Poison, yeah. And it helps the damage. Since it's not attuned, it's just another thing that you might as well have.
I'll take it. Can you remove the curse on me? On my... I can't... I
Oh
literally...
yeah, your
The
cloak.
past,
Spoil,
like-
yeah.
For the past, like, month or two, I have been sleeping in this displacer cloak.
It's gross.
It's like... stuck.
Every so often you wake up to like the two like tendril things trying to choke it. It just doesn't
I
have
imagine-
enough animus to achieve it.
I imagine that because like it's not like it's stuck wearing it. It's that like I can't remove it fully. There's always at least one sticker.
Yeah, it's just like, and like
like-
you take that one off, the other one comes on.
I hang it up and it's just like, oh, fine, it stays.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to get rid of it.
If you have
I
to
like-
remove curse,
Yeah, I
you
can
cast
remove
it on.
it. Can't I?
It just never works. So can
Cool,
you?
cast
say again?
remove.
I can cast remove curse. Yep.
Can I sell it?
You can try.
I would have to. I assume deception to lie about it being cursed.
Yep.
Oh, you could sell it as a cursed item, as like a fun prank for your friends.
The first shop I go into is at 12.
They question why you're selling such a useful thing. Well, take it off your hands if you're desperate to sell it.
Yeah.
Give you 2,600.
2600 is fine by me.
Done.
Are you sure?
Shake your hand.
2,000.
Hands you over 2,600.
I had 5 grand now. Oh my god, I started off with way less. Who wants to splash out on something?
What I
We all
will
click.
say
How much do
is
you
we
have?
are running out of time.
Yeah, I want to really quickly spend that. I've ended with more money than I had before. What is something I could spend 5 grand on for anyone?
Deck of Illusions was 6.5.
I still have one in that. I
No
still
one
have
has,
one.
no one has 20 grand to spare?
Scroll of Bigby's hand is 4 grand.
I've already got Bigby's hand.
Yeah, but not other people. If you run into
there was a
Thrungi, that +2 boomerang is 5 grand.
Was there a shield?
Thrungi's bought the shield.
The shield.
Boomerang +2 boomerang. No.
Is there anything Nyah wants other than the tattoo?
I don't. That'd be so much time.
The pelt of the Frostbear is 5 grand as well.
I don't want that.
I kind of feel like if you can scrape the money together, the deck of illusions, I'm sure we can make use of.
That's the last thing. We bought all the potions.
Mhm.
We
Or
bought-
did you buy the oil of slippiness?
Yes.
Yes.
We might as well buy from the other incenses because currently we've got
2 erudite, 2 fortitude. We haven't got the restoration ones.
what did restoration do?
Remove.
Blindness, deafness, poisoned, and point of exhaustion.
Nah, but I'm thinking we might as well get the extra fortitude one because there was 3 fortitude.
Yeah.
ones. And then at the very least, at a short rest, 2 of us could like Nyah
Become
and
more-
take charisma one, and the rest of us can take fortitude ones. Advantage on con saves. Take that last one.
Okay.
And then 4.5 grand. I just don't know. What can I spend 4.5 grand on?
Buy all the spell scrolls.
I'll buy one. Bit left off. I'll buy Bigby's hand. Any
Or-
other with anything?
Very expensive. Night on the town.
We don't have time.
Yeah, we don't.
Gift for the druids.
Anything else we can spend money on?
I've listed everything you're able to get to from the shops that you know that are open and willing to trade with you so early.
I'm going to be honest. I wasn't listening to the Nyah and Thrungi ones, so
Nara and
Want a
Thrungi were at a
tattoo?
tattoo shop, so unless you're asking for a specific tattoo,
oh, can I get a lifeline? No. There's not enough time for me to get a tattoo now. That's already been done.
no, like Naya's halfway through hers by the point that
Yeah.
you kind of meet up.
It would be a very small tattoo. Although her tattoo would be great for me as well. What did I just take? I just took another. Okay. And fortitude. Hang. 2 fortitude. There's literally nothing else.
More hats for your bird.
Does anyone want that boomerang?
It's +2 thrown weapon. Nothing to be sniffed at.
It's cool.
Does
None of us are into boomerangs, it seems.
Does anyone want to cop up $2,000 for the deck of illusions?
I can give you 1 gram for the deck of illusions.
Anyone else want to cop up $1,000?
I can
0.
help you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, you 3 between you cough up 6.5k, and you have a deck of illusions.
And I have 4 silver for my name.
More than I
How much
have.
do I need to chip in for
No,
that?
no. It's not. I have 4
Fine.
silver.
Faendal, how much did you put in for the deck?
4.5 grand.
4.5. So each of you needed to put in 1.
Which leaves me with 4 gold.
Really going end of the world, spend all your money vibes.
Yep.
Okay.
740 gold with the
Well, if you
last name.
survive, surely we'll get a big payoff.
Okay, while you lot enjoy a Macy's Day Christmas present spending spree,
It is
just in
Christmas.
time for Christmas, treating yourselves, we will end the session there and pick up in the new year as you prepare, having met all up in the same courtyard that you teleported to. Naya's fresh tattoo bandaged up. Prepare for heading to the Grove, I assume. But we'll pick up in 2023 to see what Zenedis has to say to you upon your return. But until then, see ya.